Welcome to the Coastal Alabama Prep Report on AL.com. A huge final week of the regular season, and we kick it off early on Thursday night. Big game, Ben Thomas in Saraland.
Yeah, Blount, Saraland. There's actually 5 games locally Thursday night, but Blount, Saraland is the big one. You know, we got 2 9-team regions, Randy, in Coastal Alabama, 1 in 7A and 1 in 6A. They're still playing region games in the last week of the regular season, which is not something we've seen in the last few years down here anyway. But this game decides the order of playoff teams for 6A Region 1. We know who's going. It's going to be Spanish Fort, Saraland, Blount, and Daphne. We don't know the order. For Saraland, Randy, this game is huge. They could be the number 2 seed if they win and host a playoff game. If they lose, they'll be the number 4 seed, and they'll travel, which in this region, 6A, I think is clearly the toughest class, the deepest class. You don't want to be on that road in the first round. I think it's a huge game for Saraland.
Turn our attention to Friday night. There's no question where the marquee matchup is here. It's on Old Shell Road with 2 undefeated rivals.
Yeah, you know, UMS Wright and St. Paul's. Randy, I thought in the last few years this game has lost a little bit of luster. They're not in the same classes and not in the same regions. Now, the coaches will tell you it's still important to a lot of people in those buildings. Coach Mass calls it a building game. It's important to the alumni and teachers and those people. This year, I think it's picked up a lot. Both number 1 in their classifications, both unbeaten, both legitimate state title contenders. I think for UMS, it's especially important. They haven't had a lot of tests. They've mowed over everybody. Coach Curtis said we need a game like this, win, lose, or draw, going into the playoffs so we can see what we need to fix. It's going to be a huge test for them. I think it's going to be good for them, win or lose.
UMS Wright undefeated, ranked number 1 in 4A. Are they competitive with St. Paul's, who, again, has just looked spectacular in 5A?
Well, I mean, on the surface, I think UMS, the last 2 years, St. Paul's has really handled them. They've had a tough time blocking Trey Williams, moving Josh Casher. Those guys aren't gone. They're still big guys, though. Troy Thingstad, Darius Whitfield, Josh's younger brother. Still a tough match. I think it might be a little closer this year. I still think St. Paul's gets them, but it should be a good matchup Friday night at Delaney Stadium.
Probably the highlight of the entire state, 2 undefeated number 1 ranked teams squaring off in the final week of the regular season here in the Gulf Coast.